That's Norseman. So yeah, I hope you like that. Let's sneak in with this guy. Oh, that's quick. I'm just gonna do that. That's all I'm gonna do with that. I'm not gonna see any more there.
It wasn't until I was walking out here that I realized it was Friday the 13th, but hey, we're not a superstitious lot, are we? The video's gonna go fine. The sound will be perfect. The lights won't blink or flicker or whatever. I'll make it through all these word salad titles without a hitch, just like last week where I nailed it. Remember? You know better, because I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. What do we always say?
Robo's an asshole!
No, stop it. There's always a news item that pops up as I'm posting the rewind to Patreon, and last week, that was the Frazetta Icon's Vampirella. But that's okay, usually swinging back around a week later works out better because the pre-orders have went live and they've posted the pretty promotional pictures. And in this case, it's to Vampirella's benefit because while the initial reveal shots were absolutely beautiful, and it locked it as a definite purchase in my brain, there were a couple of wonky things. You'll notice the hair is a little bit high, and then the knees look cumbersome, for lack of a better word. That's because this figure was an early prototype, and some of the things didn't quite fit together like they wanted them to. By the time the actual solicitations hit this week, the manager and designer Eamon O'Donoghue posted a video rundown of a figure that's closer to final production. And none of those nitpicks are there. The bangs are down to the eyebrows, and then the knees look much more natural, much more proportionate. That's because they fit in better, both the separate hairpiece and the legs. The package is rounded out with 3 heads, 2 hairpieces, hands, skulls, 3 bats, and a substantial base. I recommend go checking the video out, which I have linked in the description, because it's always nice to hear those kind of things from the horse's mouth, people working intimately with the project. Plus, like I showed in the intro, he does do a very, very quick comparison with the Frazetta Icon's Conan. We did see a painted prototype of that back at San Diego Comic-Con. Seeing it all in white here means there's forward momentum, and that's always good to see when it comes to a toy. Oh, that, and then pre-orders, and give them to me, and grubby hands. At this point, I cannot remember what NECA has shown or announced or teased when it comes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it's not just my terrible memory, it's the fact that they show a ton of stuff at shows. Today's the day that they decide to go right outside my yard and cut down the trees under the power lines. To this exact moment. Could have been any day this week when I wasn't even home. And here they are today on a Friday at noon. At this point, when I see new NECA TMNT pre-orders go live, I'm like, oh, hey, look, check out the Last Ronin Ghost Brothers. And people will be like, well, we've known about these for a long time. What have you been doing? And I'm like, well, collecting other lines, because I don't know a lot about Last Ronin. And I'm pretty happy with my TMNT collection at this point. So I haven't been paying as much attention at shows in those big old cases. All I know is that 3 brothers die, and these figures look good in translucent plastic. They look very ghostly, like the title says. And their Last Ronin. Other than that, I don't have a clue. Does that make you feel good? That you were all, oh, we knew about these. But you haven't yet, because I'm just now recording this video. I'm just anticipating. Watch. These will be the ones that are new reveals that we haven't seen at shows. I do believe the Mirage Leatherhead has roamed a display or two over the past year, because I remember thinking, oh, it doesn't have those Leatherhead attributes. I mean, yeah, it's an anthropomorphic gator, but it doesn't have the hat, it doesn't have the vest. I don't know what he sounds like. Does he have the accent? I don't know. We all have our certain mental images of characters, and while this is kick-ass, I'm not familiar. Because I also remember thinking, well, it's gotta look like that in the Mirage comics, because they wouldn't have made it like that, right? Hey, Veebs, is this what Mirage Leatherhead? Oh, yeah, okay. You knew what I was gonna ask before I even asked it. Okay. That's how shows usually go. I do believe these are just first to the NECA store. They're up for pre-order there right now, and then they'll go to other outlets later, I think. That is the deal. Little more McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse news this week than we've been seeing lately, but it's the holidays. It's to be expected. First, here is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Amazon exclusive Justice League Incarnate Captain Carrot Glow in the Dark edition. Yeah, I'm reading them. As for this, it's the same figure we saw in the collector edition line, both regular and platinum edition, just glow in the dark and exclusive to Amazon. Do I need to read the title again? It's pretty self-explanatory if they throw that many words into it. It's just a fun thing that appeases a major retailer. Nothing more, nothing less. Reminds me of Space Ghost a bit, but that's only because I have the Mezco 1/12 Collective glow-in-the-dark edition of that, and it's got that same exaggerated texture and color to the bodysuit. That was a big tree. Oh, hey, wait, maybe Space Ghost needs to fight a big, grim and gritty super rabbit in the dark. Next up, something I didn't even know was a thing. Here is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Monsterverse Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, Batman versus Kong. A lot of verses in there. Can Batman beat Kong? Fans of Batman probably say yes, not a problem. Batman haters say, probably, if you give him enough time and planning and preparation, he can take down anybody because that's just the way DC writes them. Batman. So they actually agree. It's just their personal feelings to Batman. Some positives here, some negatives, which is okay. That's just the facts of life. Sometimes you take the good, you take the bad. You take them both. And like I said, there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. If you were wanting a Hush Batman in a darker black and gray bodysuit, there you go, bam. If you were wanting a nicely articulated McFarlane Toys style King Kong, not so much. I know, I had the same thought. There is the Page Puncher's Gorilla Grodd right there. But after doing some mental scale gymnastics, this King Kong is quite a bit bigger than that Grodd. That's no excuse for the arms and legs though. Does the size eliminate basic articulation, or does the license holder not want this Kong to compete with other companies who are making more articulated Kongs? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. That's not my department. I can just stand here and flap my lips about wanting elbows and knees, because that's really what it comes down to. I want some elbows and knees in this. And yes, that is the smaller Page Puncher's Batman in the same black and gray color scheme, just repurposed to go here to make Kong look even bigger when he's holding a smaller scale Batman. It's clever, but at the same time, man, it's a shame about that Kong. It's just a weird concept and a weird presentation. Thankfully, they win me back with some moody preview pics of the upcoming McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Target exclusive New Gods Orion. Ooh, that helmet, that Astro harness, that dog of war attitude shining through, so good. So sexy. But then they lose me again with the JSA Wildcat, which is also a gold label Target exclusive. This should have been right up my alley. I love JSA, but the color, the build, and the mask just look off to me. Is this a more modern take? When I saw JSA, I thought, okay, some classic flavor, but my Wildcat has some buff, some gruff, some shape to the mask, darker color scheme, some rough and tumble, and I don't get that feeling from this. Remember me talking about NECA and not being able to remember if they announced or revealed a figure before? Well, it's the same with Mezco. They put too many pretties in a case at a show. I mean, it's just a wall of 1/12 Collective, and I get lost sometimes, okay? Remember, I said I've slowed down this year on purchases, and that's extra doubly so for Mezco 1/12 Collective. When they announced Thor for this week, I thought, well, first, I went to my news folders and searched Mezco Thor, and yeah, they did show this at New York Comic Con. I think at the time, I was impressed overall because it's a good looking figure, but then this week I was kinda cool, but I don't need it. I've got a few Thors. Then the pre-order opened up with the full photo spread, and god dang it, how many times have you heard this story on this channel? Well, there I was, determined not to buy something. I don't need it. I was kind of cool on the release. I mean, I like looking at the plastic and such, but beyond that, I don't feel the need to own it. But then I saw all the poses and the extras and And then I need, oh my God, look at it. It's so, it's calling to me. My heart yearns for this Thor. But doesn't it just capture that journey into mystery feel perfectly? I still have gripes. I think I said something about the felt pants back at New York Comic Con, and those still stand out. That texture, it doesn't really match anything else on the figure. Now that we have sharper pictures, my other gripe are the abs, the torso, I guess. Like the muscles are built into the suit. But the positives far outweigh those negatives because you look at the rest and the presentation and the accessories and everything, and it just all works. The head sculpts are perfect. And I appreciate the option to swap the hairs with the different helmets. 2 hammer options. I think it's just the handle, the strap piece. One is cloth, one is plastic. The electricity, the spinning effect. Oh man, that's always a winner. I guess I'm just a sucker for classic looking 1/12 Collective Marvel figures because I have Fantastic Four, I got Doom, I got Green Goblin, but they are still in the box on a shelf. Maybe that's why I slowed down on 1/12 Collective. But man, someday have a play day with all those. So we go along with it, and then it goes into display looking good. I'm still hot and heavy with Marvel Legends though. We did talk about the Spider-Man retro card wave reveals from last week's fan stream, but once again, pre-orders went live. There's more pictures to look at. There's more time to gather my thoughts. Because last week it was watch the fan stream, see the reveals, walk out here. Hey, did you guys just watch the fan stream? I'm gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna start with Kane because did they need helicopter backup? I'm gonna start with Kane because seriously, this is the one I've come around on the most. Didn't read the comics, don't understand the hype, but god dang, is this a good looking action figure. I love the look, especially in the more dynamic shots. That light blue on the black base body, the pink, the hair. Oh man, the hair. It just works. I also really like Unlimited Spider-Man. Same deal, I didn't watch this cartoon. I don't have a lot of experience with the costume, but man, those sculpted details, the layout, the muted reds and blues, won me over. Until some comments said, hey, there was a lot of heavy shadow on this costume in the series. And yes, after looking at some pictures, Googling some reference, this should have had a dark wash to it. If nothing else, it should have the heavy shadow right there on the face because I think that just jumps out the most. It's just red with eyes. A shadow circle right there to darken things up, darken things down, I guess would be the correct term there. Seriously, it's right there in the card art, 2 inches from the figure. Just right there. I'm surprised at how much more I like Electro after a week. No, it does not bug me whatsoever that it's a woman. To me, it's the costume. Oh man, it has that astonishing X-Men modernization happening. They pour a whole lot of classic into a bowl and then just bring in some more current aesthetic to it, just to freshen it up a bit. That's my favorite kind of update. The megawatt electricity effects are pretty sweet too. Chameleon's also moved up a couple of notches in the past few days, and not just because I have custom ideas for that body. Still not my version because, say it with me, Robo did not watch the animated series. 'Cause he's an asshole. Stop! But I do like the look here. It's very villainous. I could probably find a better way to describe it, but you know exactly what I'm thinking when I say that. And look at this picture, right? So I may have to grab 2 here, one for custom fodder, one for Chameleon. And that leaves me an extra Chameleon head, I guess, that you can swap on to the older Marvel Legends version to spice it up. Or if you missed out on that, because I do believe prices on the original Marvel Legends Chameleon have went up. So grab a Matt Murdock body, grab this, swap the head, classic Chameleon. And a whole extra body and a Matt Murdock head. No, that wouldn't work, would it? Spider-Boy. When this was the first reveal of this wave, it was exciting, you know? Oh, there's a Spider-Man wave coming. But now that I see the rest of the wave and now my budget brain is kicking in, man, Spider-Boy may fall to the wayside because I have absolutely no clue. I like the design. I like the look. I really like the gold lenses and the extra eyes and the fangs, like he spiders out or something. But at the end of the day, cuts have to be made somewhere, which I can say right now in the pre-order stage, it's a whole different animal when they actually start hitting. And it's like, oh, do I need Spider Boy? Oh, that gold does pop. Ooh. But my favorite of the wave is Flash Thompson Agent Venom. I'm just now realizing that this is the character, or at least the version of the character that I have the most experience with out of all of these characters in this wave. Did that sentence even make sense? I know Chameleon, I know Electro. I don't know these iterations. When it comes to Flash Agent Venom, I've read comics featuring that character. Which is more than I can say for any other figure in this wave. And it doesn't hurt that I love a good white and black color scheme. Take Venom, squeeze them through a military filter, you get this, and it's awesome. As good as it looks, I probably won't use the unmasked Flash head. I want full-on Agent Venom, but that leaves the unmasked head to find a legend scale football player so I can give puny Parker a hard time at school. Now to find a football player. Finally, let's wrap up the rewind with this week's Hasbro Gift the Galaxy Star Wars Black Series Shadows of the Empire Luke Skywalker Imperial Guard and Princess Leia Organa Boost 2-pack pre-order. We had seen some plastic leaks of Luke in the guard disguise, but seeing the final product, oh man, I really like this. That red is so shiny. That armor looks fantastic. Yes, it is a Commander Cody torso, but the new arms and legs and then the helmet changes things up so much. Luke's head is Luke's head in action figure form. It's pretty par for the course at this point. At first I thought it was swappable heads because of the size of the helmet. And when I saw that, I thought, those crazy bastards, they did it. They made it look like the artwork that's been floating around. And I've been wanting swappable heads for a long time. It just fixes the helmet size that we see off so many times before. But no, in the video presentation, they show it is a helmet that goes down over Luke's head. I don't know if it's a Doctor Strange portal or some kind of unstable molecules, but looking at the promotional images, I never would have thought that bucket would fit over Luke's huge noggin. Heed! Move! That's why the Luke likeness doesn't really bug me too much, because I'm gonna have it on display with the helmet down over it as an Imperial Guard, which is why I'm also not concerned with the height. Oh, it definitely should be shorter for Luke, but that doesn't lend itself to army building, which hopefully means there's a single pack down the road, because the other thing that doesn't really lend itself to army building here, and you know where I'm going with this, is the addition, the repack of a Leia in Boosh disguise. Now I get it, Shadows of the Empire is where she got this gear. And they did spruce her up with a new head and helmet, which I appreciate, I do like. Although I did have to put the pictures side by side and stare for way too long to see all the differences, but I do like the new helmet more. And maybe it has pinless knees. In all the promo images, there's no pins in the knees, but in that video presentation on the Spinaroo, there's pins on the knees, so I don't know which one we're actually getting. She also has that fixed height we saw with the archive release, but another thing about that is still available. The biggest thing here is it kills troop building. It makes me only want to buy one. It's like the Super Battle Droid pack that came with a C-3PO headed battle droid. I did not need to army build C-3PO headed battle droids. I wanted super battle droids, but they did release a single pack of the Super. So, man, I hope that's what they do here. But that wouldn't change if this was Leia in her blue jumper that we got in the 3.75 inch line. Or if it was a new individual like Dash or Snuva, that would still kill the army building potential. I remember a lot of us making Lando in Imperial Guard disguises back in the day. Was that just because it was a simple head swap, or was that a thing in Shadows of the Empire? I can't remember. I remember Lando in Stormtrooper gear, but was he in Imperial Guard display? Either way, that would have been a neat 2-pack. New Lando head, same body, you get 2 troopers or guards, and then you're good to go. And then I would buy a couple of packs. I did pre-order one of these, and if Boosh is an upgrade, she's an upgrade. But I really wanted the Imperial Guard. That was the biggie for me. Just look at it. So Imperial, so Guard. And that's all I have for this week. As always, special thanks to the Patreon, the no-bots. Without their support, I would not be able to do this, which is just the highlight of my week. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Man, it's almost Christmas. That's crazy to think about. And it'll be here and gone before we know it. And then we'll be into 2025 if man is still alive. Also creeping up on 1 year of doing the rewind. Next week is episode 51. And I was thinking, oh, it'll be 52 will be 1 year. But no, I missed an episode at Legion's Con. So the count is slightly off. Next week is 1 year going full-time Robo Don't Know. 1 year already. We've been talking about toys, having some fun, making some customs, doing some reviews, going to shows. We're having fun, right? It's rattling the building. They're so close. I just wanted to show this one more time, the Reba Bleedo Marvel Legends Nanny Kit, because I've probably talked about this several times this week, but man, this makes me so happy. It's like the end of a journey. But it also opened up doors because got plans for Orphan Maker, got plans for Artie and Leech, more of that era of X Factor. I love when one figure opens up the doors for other figures. It's just, it's like unlocking a memory. I have been plotting, I have been scheming on a nanny figure for a good long while, but to finally have it finished is like, okay, then what's next? I'm hyped. I'm ready. I've got the motivation. I want to do it. So I'm in customizing mode again. So expect another play day soon. Well, not just Marvel Legends. I've got a bunch of custom stuff that people have sent me, and it's some sweet stuff. Man, show that off. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'll let you get out of here. Go enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if I'm not back next week, it's because I walked out the front door and fell in a wood chipper, apparently. But okay, love you all. Bye.